It's the human leadership component that makes any economic system moral or immoral. There's no free lunch. That's called virtuous commerce. Let me see, you start with a vision, you engage stakeholders, and you think sustainably. So I began to take that idea and really tried to begin to work with senior leaders of organizations on this idea. At that time, it really didn't have a distinctive name, but it became known as corporate social responsibility, which is nothing less than a business commitment to environmental, social, and economic sustainability, all three. And I would go around making a business case for this. In other words, the reason you need to engage yourself with CSR is you have to win the war for talent. That is that almost everybody, especially coming out of college today, wants to know what's on your agenda to save the world. So you have to have an agenda. 2, you need to reduce the lost productivity due to disengaged employees. We know that employees are most engaged in organizations when they feel a value connection with that organization. In other words, what I do in that organization reflects my values. We also know that organizations that stand for something that's good, increasingly get consumer preference. So we know it's good from that standpoint, from building your brand. We know it increases brand loyalty. And finally, and this was my big pitch, you can create unique value when you consider environmental and social factors in strategy along with economic factors. So this was my pitch. And because of what we've just been going through, because we've seen this sort of, well, financial crisis that is bigger than a financial crisis because it looks at the very underpinnings of the global economy and says, what's up? We find the big trend of our time is this, is leaders, consumers, employees all say the same thing, that what we're doing is not sustainable. We're also looking at government struggling. How do we provide services with our tax revenues going down? How do we really get rid of waste in government? We've been talking about waste in government since government started, about 10,000 years ago. Everybody promises it, but how could we ever do that? Yet if we don't get rid of it, there isn't enough taxes that we could collect to take care of all the problems we face. And then we have popular culture. Of course, we have Oprah and Bono saying, we've got to save the world. But you also have some real bad boys and, well, this Brangelina outfit, right? You have people like that saying, we not only have to save the world, adopting people from all over the world. We have the constant bombardment of media, mainstream media. Not left media or right media, but mainstream media asking, what is going on? What are we going to do differently? Because what we're doing is not sustainable. And my response to that is, and creating a sustainable future is the greatest economic opportunity in the history of the world. So if we look at it as that kind of opportunity, how could we take the lessons of psychology, of that little experience, and apply it to global business, global leadership? And right now the world is looking for leaders. So there is a new movement.